Hello, it's Al here from Al's Geek Lab, once again bringing you a short video. Now today I don't have a video planned because life, and so I thought I would just throw together something which basically talks to this. And this video today is going to be called Switch This On and See If It Blows Up. It's a Macintosh SE from, I don't know, 1986 or something like that. 86, I was right, look at that. It's almost like I throw these videos together with knowledge. Alright, so first things first, kids. You know, like, you see a lot of videos out there that are entirely scripted, and sometimes mines are, sometimes they're not. But the thing about this video is I'm not going to script it. I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to switch this on, which a lot of electronics videos say don't do that. Check the caps, make sure they're all replaced and looking sweet. I'm not going to do that. Whether I advise that you do the same with your vintage hardware, I don't know. Anyway, I could open it up first and see if it blows up, but you know, that's just not my style. It's just like, let's wing it. But I do have with me this extra long screwdriver, and in typical Apple fashion, of course they wouldn't make anything by standard. No, back in 1986 when Steve Jobs was at his Jobsiest, or had he been fired by then? Well, you know, this machine would have been made by the Jobs Massive. When Jobs was at his Jobsiest, I guess he didn't want people going in as precious Apple Macintoshes. So he made the screwdriver for it a Torx screwdriver, this odd beast, which is a T15. So yeah, you have to go out and buy these specially. You can't just use a normal screwdriver. Thanks, Steve. All right, anyway, I do also have a card. I'm not an Apple aficionado, so, but I have a card which I thought that would be interesting if I could plug that into this machine. So if I get past part one with it not blowing up, maybe I could install this. I've actually never installed U-Bus cards before, so I've actually got no idea whether it A, fit in this machine, and B, whether it would work. I'm also down a keyboard connector, so I'm not going to be able to plug things into the keyboard. I do have a mouse, don't know where my keyboard connector is, so there is also that as well. So this video is going to be a bit strange, a bit off the cuff. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to plug this thing in and see if it explodes. Hopefully there's no leaky Varta battery or anything like that in here, but you know, that's just part of the fun, right? Let's watch and laugh at Al blow things up. Okay, that's the subject title of today's video.
Before we move on with the video, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to PCBWay for supporting Al's Geek Lab. Whether you're recreating a vintage motherboard or testing a fresh microcontroller idea, PCBWay will turn your Gerber files into polished boards in just a few days. Pick your solder mask color, add silkscreen, and if you like, let their team handle full component assembly so it arrives ready to boot. And guess what? You can get started from just $5. And if you need more than just PCBs, they also offer CNC machining, 3D printing, and sheet metal work, all from the same dashboard. Visit their website today at PCBWay.com. We'd like to thank PCBWay for keeping our projects powered. Now, let's get back to the video.
Look at that, I've even found a suitably grey cable that kind of fits with the aesthetic of the Mac SE. So this is the Mac SE. It was not the SE30, which I think was the next upgrade. I think this model has a hard drive inside it as well. I don't know if it originally had a hard drive, but this has got 1 megabyte of RAM, a lot for 1986, and two 800K drives, so that's like the high capacity drive. I believe before, so the original Macintosh had like, I don't know, something crap, like 128K capacity drives, really low capacity, really weird. It might have been more than 128. Anyway, the original Macs weren't that great. So here we go, plugged in. I don't know, I'm gonna switch it on and watch the screen. blow up. Okay, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Fingers crossed. Oh, we have noise. We have hard drive soundy noises. Oh, we have a Mac chime. It's not doing hellish much, to be honest with you. I got the grey screen. Sad Mac. Now what does that mean? I don't know, but I got a sad Mac. Wow. Alright, I'm going to switch it off and see if there's anything blown up inside. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to work that well, although I believe at some point a while back it did work. My God. And the reason why the screwdriver is this long is because, of course, the Torx heads are right back at the front of the unit. Again, thanks very much, Apple. You rock. You can tell this isn't scripted. Thank you, magnetic heads. And then 2 down here. People who are common with Macintosh will be watching me do this right now and probably laughing, which is okay. Alright, is that all? How does this thing open? Is there more screws to take out? Here we are. Trying not to touch the big hefty monitor inside, which is loaded with thousands of volts. It's always a bad day when you electrocute yourself. There we have it. So that was, you know, once you have the right tool, it's pretty easy to take off the case. There's somebody's signature inside there. ME. Maybe it's my signature. You know, me. Okay. I'm scratching the surface off my desk here, that's not great. We have inside one ST3600 in hard drive with an official Apple part number. We have a flyback transformer down here, which is at the moment probably full of high voltage, so no touchy. This looks like a little fan down here. I didn't think these things had fans in them. It certainly looks like a fan. We have a Sony power supply unit down here. We have a few disconnected floppy drives. I can see in here a floppy drive edge connector that is not connected. Don't know if you can make that out, but those certainly look like disconnected edge connectors. That's weird. These hard drives were SCSI hard drives back in the day, and I can see up the top here there's a NuBus edge connector. So the NuBus stuff would go out the back. So nothing in here is easy to get at, really. What a pain in the ass. Let me just take you on a little journey around the insides of the Mac. So down here we have all the discrete logic for the monitor. This board at the bottom. Here's the monitor itself. It's the hard drive. Down here, where you can't see anything much, these ribbon cables that you can see just, those 2 there are for the floppy disk drives. And in here, you may be able to make out some RAM. There's 2 SIMs, at least that I can see there, sticking out of the main board. So the main board is right at the bottom. You see it here, kids, it says danger, high voltage. So yeah, watch out with these things. Now, I'm going to see if I can get into this Mac. So to do that, I'm going to try not to touch anything which is high voltage, because it still will be. I'm going to flip it round on this side. For an old machine, she's not actually too dirty looking yet, but there's a lot of sort of rusty business going on. Now, to get into this motherboard needs to come out of here, and it's not that apparent how to get it out. Needs to slide out. Oh yeah, there it goes. It might just slide out. These lugs, I don't know if they were supposed to be screwed in at one point, but somebody might have been in here already and not screwed them in. So I'm just trying to see, like obviously this motherboard has got these cables attached to it, the floppy drives aren't attached, but obviously the SCSI drive is attached, so I need to take that out. Not really very easy to get in there and pull cables out, and goodness only knows how I'm going to get them attached when I want to get back in there later on. But I've pulled the cable out for the motherboard, for the storage, for the hard drive. Maybe that's why the floppy drive wasn't attached in the first place, and I don't think you can make this out. But if I move this a little bit, still probably too difficult to see, it's pretty dark in there. There is the power connector to the main board, and I can just about make it out from here as well. So again, this is Apple doing their wonderful best to make it hard to service these things, but there is that power connector which I'm going to have to take out somehow. I need childlike hands to get in here. There might be a lug on top that I'm not seeing. Ah yes, there is a lug on top. My God, Apple. Seriously? Got it. It just needed a lot of persuasion. This is the power cable here. Tricky. Alright, let's put it back around on its front. That was really a lot harder than it needed to be. That was a design decision that I would never agree to. Okay, here we go. Hopefully this comes out now. Damn, something else was connected, but it's come out now. Oh my goodness, it's got a Varta battery in it. Done. Alright, here she is. This is the Apple Macintosh SE with nasty Varta battery. So I'm glad I took it out because, well, that could have been dangerous. Now I just have a look at the motherboard and make sure there's nothing untoward going on here. Alright, so the main thing that we really want to get rid of is this Varta battery. I am amazed. It looks like it's still in one piece, which is incredible. Have a looking at the components. Obviously the Motorola 68000 is here. Can't remember what this chip is. I think that's like the main logic, and I believe these will be the BIOS. ROM high, there we go, ROM low, the glue chip, and whatever IWM is, not sure. It looks like somebody's been in here already and replaced a bunch of things, unless I'm incorrect. These caps have been put in place. So I think somebody decided that the caps were going to go bad at some point and replaced them, so that's good. But all in all, the board looks in reasonably good shape. So that Varta battery is coming out. Who wants to put some money on if this battery has any charge whatsoever? So this battery's probably been in there since inception, so 1986. Let's have a little look and test it with the multimeter. Oh my goodness. It is still providing 2.7 volts. Incredible. Made in West Germany. Sorry Varta, but I just can't trust you. It's actually rated for 3 volts, so it's still supplying pretty much what it was supposed to supply. For the age of the battery, that is quite impressive. It has what potentially could be a date code on it. Don't know if you can see that, but the date code on it says 787, if that is a date code. So the battery's from 1987. Usually those things. So this one here, I'm assuming is a 1 megabyte machine, 4 sim, there'll be 256K, 17 nanosecond sims. Looks like it's probably been upgraded at some point because there are 2 different types of sims in it. So now you can see the bottom of the unit, you can see the drive connectors and all the rest, and this connector which goes to the speaker, which I couldn't see when I was ejecting the board, so I've managed to pull that off by accident. So don't do that at home, kids. Here's the underside of the board, and a just quick visual inspection. There's nothing too bad on it. There is a bit of, looks like dried flux over here, here, but nothing else major. So I guess what we need to do is a bit more of an inspection and find out exactly what's dead about it. And then we can go from there. Now, what is most likely to be dead is that hard drive. Spinning disks don't last. That's the main thing with those. I expect that one to be fully dead now. It was probably on its way out many years ago. But I've always been interested into these new bus cards, and I have never actually seen one installed. So this is the new bus socket here, and I guess it goes on this way, something like that. Really wild. Okay, so they are keyed. They only go on one way. That's freaking wild. So the back of the board, where all of the connections are, faces out, obviously, but the network card, for it to work, would kind of be impossible in this machine. So that, yeah, that's never going to work. But if you've got expansion understanding for the Macintosh SE, or I'm assuming it's the same on the SE30, I would love to know how expansion cards actually work. Like, can you get a network expansion card? This one is obviously not going to work. What I don't get is how that's ever going to work, because the expansion slot on the back there goes sideways. So your cards are going to have to go sideways above the main board. Welcome to Jank City, where I have the main board on the outside of the machine with a towel to make sure it doesn't short out the motherboard. So yay, that's safe. But I have connected the motherboard up to the Mac connector. I have not connected the hard drive or the floppy drive. Let's see what happens if I power it up now. Explosion? Much? That noisy little fan spinning away. Sad Mac. So it could be a whole bunch of things, I think. It could be that the RAM is bad. It could be that there is a problem with the ROMs. It could be just the hard drive's dead. Could be the floppy drives. Obviously none of those are connected. There is a whole bunch of things that I reckon this could be. What I'm going to try first is try connecting one of the floppy drives and see if that isn't the issue. The floppy drives themselves, this little yellow ribbon cable, aren't connected with any power cable. They're simply, must be powered by the bus on the motherboard. So that's an interesting tidbit. Obviously on PCs and over the other machines of this era, the hard drives and the floppy drives would be powered by a separate Molex connector. Obviously the hard drive itself is connected by a Molex connector, as you can see here, but the floppy drives are just powered through the system itself. It's pretty much spaghetti junction down here. Don't know if you can make out that the hard drive and the floppy drive all kind of feed through into the guts down here, so there's all these cables hanging out at the bottom. Not exactly elegant. I don't know if you can tell, but my experience, the first experience with this board is absolutely infuriating. I don't think I've worked in such a cramped space. The Osborne one was pretty close, but I gotta say, this is absolute hell. Just trying to get these cables to align. They're just so short. They've got absolutely no distance on them. The hard drive is okay, I suppose. Power cable, the audio cable, just an absolute nightmare. Just a shit show. I do not want to be in one of these again for a very long time. So if you are somebody who's an aficionado with these things, let me know, because like I just can't imagine anybody wanting to work on these things. Poor Apple servicemen and women back in the 1980s and early 90s, because the space in these is so limited. They make absolutely no simple way for people to service them. It's just a horror show. Just really, really nasty design. You can't access the main board from upper parts of the system, so you're just trying to get your fingers in there. I don't even have fat fingers. I can imagine if you've got like big chonky hands, it being, you know, absolute nightmare for you to work on. Apple, what were you thinking? Okay, I have plugged in the floppy drives, but not the hard drive. Let's have a look at this. Ooh, good old Macintosh. I can definitely hear the power of the hard drive. The hard drive spins up and it sounds like it's sort of healthy. You're not going to believe this, but look at what just happened. Oh my goodness. Floppy drives are making a lot of noise, obviously, because it's trying to start up from floppy disk, and it's giving me this old sign, but that's a heck of a lot better, and yeah, I can't believe that. This is the world of retro computing, people. It's full of annoyances like that. Okay, I'm going to try and attach the hard drive and see what happens. Okay, can we make this sad Mac happy? It's kind of annoying if this does fix it, because it doesn't really tell me what fixed it. Okay. I'm guessing no. That looks like a VRAM corruption. Yikes. Old computers, man. Alright, I think the power cable internally came loose to the motherboard, and that's maybe what happened there. Oh. Happy Mac! Hard drive is actually rattling away, so the operating system is loading. That's just nuts. That took an eternity to come to welcome to Macintosh. I've got to tell you, this machine isn't fast, but it's getting there. Oh my dear God. It's not even started the operating system yet. So whilst this takes an absolute eternity to start up, I wonder if you've got any suggestions for what I might do with this. Obviously there is the blue SCSI, which I would replace this incredibly slow hard drive with, but what I really don't know that much of is what the Mac was quite good at in terms of the SE. So this isn't the fabled SE30, this is the predecessor to that, I guess. So when you have the SE, the processor is probably its biggest shortcoming. So I think what I'd love to know from you in the comments is there something I can do with this that would upgrade it to be meaningful? Seen plenty of upgrades on the SE30, but this is just the slow old 6,000 to 8,000 CPU. So what should I do next with this machine? Obviously it's having a really good time with the operating system there. That's great. Restart and back to square one. So obviously the hard drive might be on its last legs there, or the data on the operating system might be completely hosed. Either way, that at least means that the hardware itself is probably working-ish okay, which is crazy considering how broken it was earlier on when I started this very quick video. But hey, so please let me know if you have any suggestions in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. But I guess until the next video, that's it from me here on Al's Geek Lab and this little sad-ish Mac. Love to hear from you in the comments. Until the next time, stay good, stay safe, and be excellent to each other. Bye for now. I hate this. I hate this Mac. I hate it. It's the world's worst machine to work on ever, and it doesn't work.